What are we doing? I I struggle to see how. Look, Ricochet is good. I don't really like Will Ospreay that much, to be honest with you. I think he's a tad bit overrated, perhaps. But Ricochet, I've been following Ricochet for a long time, especially since he was Prince Puma and Lucha Underground. What a peak wrestling product. Um, but what is the point of having this match? Not only so early on, but on free TV. This is a match that has to be built up. Kind of how they kept Will Ospreay separated from the AEW champion for so long. I feel like this is a match that you tease a lot, and then you go all in on a full build, a full feud. Just let it breathe. What are we doing here? We're just booking dream matches, dream matches to AEW fans anyway, just to what? Oh, that's right. We're booking for the sickos. Except the sickos only amount to like 600K people, most of which are just left the TV on because Big Bang Theory was on. Those are the sickos. Okay, sounds good. Um, there's no point in this being on free TV. There's no point in rushing this out. There's no point in not giving. Look, here's my issue. The big problem with Ricochet is that he's never had a big storyline to where he could showcase character, personality. He's always been quite typecast and has been in some repetitive booking situations, but he's never had like a very personally staked feud with history like this. I mean, you can really build on the history between these two, the different paths that they took. There's a lot of directions you can go with this, and you're just throwing it away on for the sickos on a random Wednesday. But it's a 5-year anniversary of AEW. No one cares. Nobody cares. Sorry, put it on pay-per-view or something. Put it on pay-per-view. Give it some breathing room. Book it. God forbid Tony Khan books something. God forbid he takes the pen out and starts writing something, some engaging weeks of television, instead of just saying, "Oh, here's the match. I don't have to do anything else." And they call this good booking. It's incredible, man. And then there's a fact of the matter is that AEW hypes up this match, and who this is not going to pull in any different amount of viewers than AEW is already pulling in. Look, just because I like Ricochet, and I know a lot of people don't like Ricochet, just because I like Ricochet, I'm not self-centered. I can understand that nobody really watched their match 7 years ago. Unless you are like a criminally online wrestling purist type of guy, you know? um, it's just like, no one's gonna turn on the TV and be like, "Oh my god, I remember that's the same spot as 7 years ago when Ricochet whipped his schlong out and started flinging it around in Ospreay's face." Like, no one, come on, you know. it's it's very, yes, internet markish, and that's who Tony Khan books for, at this point. But there's no personal investment for anybody here. Oh, we had a match 7 years ago, and you just showed up, but you're getting a title shot. Well, why can't we have seen Ricochet go through other opponents first? Have even book some short-term storylines that last a few weeks. I'm not saying every storyline, every feud has to be a full-blown 2 month. But why not have Ricochet go through, tear through a division, tear through the international? Do they have an? Is it even what it's called? Do they have a division for this stuff, or they just throw guys together? AEW's weird, you know what I'm saying? And everyone gets title shots in AEW somehow, but whatever. Because as of right now, nobody knows anything about Ricochet, really. He likes to do flying stunts, and he came from WWE. great. What's his story? What's his character? What are we building towards? Why should we have any personal investment of Ricochet in this match? Why should we be rooting for Ricochet? I root for him because I don't like Will Ospreay. But why should we be rooting for? Why should the average person be rooting for Ricochet? As far as they know, if they've been watching it, this is just a random guy that popped up from WWE, and now he's here, and now he had something with Will Ospreay that wasn't even on television 7 years ago or whatever, and and you can find the match on YouTube if you really care that much. Most people really don't care that much to go looking up 7-year-old matches on YouTube, but sure. And what else though, right? Because the average person doesn't care about that. It's not gonna boost ratings. It's not gonna create buzz. It's not gonna do anything for AW besides saying, "Whoa, look, they did Ospreay versus Ricochet, and they did it on free TV. Oh my goodness, he's booking pay-per-view level cards on free TV, and nobody's watching." You don't think that's a problem? AEW fans, you don't think that's a problem? He's booking all these supposedly incredible cards with all these great matches, and you guys are the only ones tuning in. But why do ratings matter? Ratings don't matter. I'm not an executive. Why should I care about ratings? Well, the wrestlers do. They care about ratings. And advertisers do. And a bunch of other people do. Which means by proxy, you should care. Because you are supporting this company. You want to see this company do its best. And if they were getting good ratings, you would brag about it. Because WWE fans do. But WWE fans were also honest when the ratings were really low. I mean, there was a few delusional peoples and diehard WWE fans back then in the 2010s. But after 2012, 2013, a lot of people were coming to grips with the fact that the WWE product was on a downslide, especially in the latter half of the 2010s. AEW fans, not so much. I don't understand it. It's funny because I think they're actually worse than what WWE fans were back then. Because they are just in complete denial. They like this stuff. They don't care if there's a storyline or not. They don't care if there's no reason to tune for an average person to tune into this. They don't want to see AEW grow. They want to ride out this train. So in 10 years, they'll be able to say, I watched this match on AEW 10 years ago. I watched it live. MJF versus Will Ospreay in a boring 60-minute Iron Man match. I watched it live. What? What are we doing? This is not becoming of the number 2 professional wrestling company in the world. God, how far that bar sunk. That AEW could be considered number 2 with stuff like this. Stuff you see, the syringes and all that crazy nonsense. I blame WWE for that, though. WWE has to take some kind of responsibility for this as well, because if they weren't so terrible over the last few years before AEW arrived, they weren't so terrible. Man. But anyway, back to my original point. This match is being wasted. Maybe the diehard AEW fans remember this match after it happens, but no one is going to care. And it's going to get clowned on Twitter because there's going to be some crazy spots that don't really make sense. And there's going to be no psychology. There's going to be no, set pace. These guys are going to be all over the place. It's not going to be a great match. Will Ospreay is not a great professional wrestler. Ricochet should be paired with someone else, and he should be allowed more time to develop his character and develop some mic work as well, because I think anyone can be decent on the mic if you just allow them to experience it, right? Roman Reigns got decent on the microphone. I mean, they still had him with Paul Heyman, but he got decent on the microphone after that Cena fiasco in 2017, I believe it was. But you gotta give, these. You gotta build characters. Let's get the character work in. We don't care about these guys just because they were on the Indies or in WWE a year ago. We have to get some character work in. What are we doing here? Will Ospreay, Ricochet. We will be sleeping.